hello everyone. Hi Kev, I see you there. Creeping in chat. Well, not creeping, waving in chat. Hi Kev, how you doing? I didn't really have a crazy plan. Hey Corey, what's up, man? I didn't have a crazy plan for today. I was gonna originally just kind of like work on some, I guess, a couple sort of irons in the fire for advanced query loop, and I was thinking that I would like look at some of the stuff for like some of the UI changes that was made. Joe H. Cooper, hello, welcome to the old streamery. Sorry, Joe H. Cooper, not Josh. What am I saying? Joe H. Cooper, how you doing? Anyways, I was thinking I was maybe working out, but then somebody asked me today if there's a way to have create block handle multiple plugin. Create a plugin with multiple blocks. Now it's totally possible. We've talked about this before, but I thought maybe I'd build a template out that would provide all the tools that would allow us to do that. And so I thought maybe I'd do that today. And if we get that done, maybe I'll work on some other stuff. So why don't we do that? So I think what I need to do is get over here, get a new one, that's not the button I wanted to press. Wrong button. Moonbite 3, hello, how you doing? I'm gonna just get one of these in here, and it's just gonna zoom it in. There's not no human stacks books like that. I'm gonna go to my repo and I say make dir. This is gonna be, what is it? Create block multi block template. God, it's a horrible name. And then I'm gonna cd. I think I can do that. Boom, it does. I love this little shorthand here. It's fantastic. So I'm in there now. I'm gonna open up a code winder, as they say. I'm gonna get rid of this one, and I'm gonna do this. And we're gonna start building some stuff. So I can run my template down in here. So the first thing we need to do is create an index.js file. It's the first thing that we need to do. This will be our config, and we're gonna have I think it's a module dot exports. I'm trying to do this from memory because why not, right? And then we're gonna need, that's not right at all. Some stuff like that. So wait a minute. I'm just gonna go to my examples that I've got. Got a bunch of examples. What's wrong with me? I had a developer blog on this. Actually, let's look at that. Maybe I'll just find a new window here and go, okay, new developer, the news, and this is going to be create block. So I wrote an article on this thing, creating external project template. So this is where I'm going to probably start. So we're right here. So what do you want to do is get set up. I'm not going to worry about that. Oh, I have a repo too that you can look at that gives you a really simple setup, right? So we get a module. Just like that. Audio. My audio? Hello? How about now? Is that better? Nothing's changed, but I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if my Yeti's being weird. Check it. Oh, look a little low. Looks a little low. How's that? Is that better? All right. I'm just gonna do this. All right, so this is what we want to do. We're gonna go in here. Sound good to me. Okay, so Kevin, you're getting deaf in your old age. That's your problem, not mine. You're gonna deal with it, okay? What specifically has been quiet? My microphone has been quiet? Maybe my gain's low. Let me look. I just don't want to overload things. Check 1, 2. Haha. I don't know if that's any better. Just a bit. Okay. All right. Fine. All right. Well, just let me know if it's a little low, and I'll ridicule you for having old man ears, just like me. Okay. Anyhow, so if we look at the project template what we want to get in here is we need to define a couple of things. So our template. So if you're not familiar with the create block package, it is basically just a scaffolding tool, and its entire job is to take some template files and plunk in a bunch of values and then output those files for you. That's its whole job. That's all it does, but it does it via templates. So there's some built-in templates that you've probably all seen and used and loved, hopefully. And then there's ones that you can create, and then you can point to it. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to do a folder in here and I call it files, and I'm going to put one in here called plugin. So anything inside of this directory is going to be treated as sort of the core plugin files. And then we have another one here we'll call block. You can call these whatever you want, but basically the plugin templates path is it's gonna scaffold those out into the plugin itself, and then anything inside block template path is gonna go into the what would be the block files, basically, right? So what I think I want to have happen now is I want to have what I think we want to end up with is a test plugin, right? We want to have it structured like this. So when we go into this plug, can anyone see that? I'll zoom that in because it's like old man ears, old man eyes. You know, old people. I shouldn't be sexist. There could be old women on the stream too. So what we're going to want to have is index.php. This will be our plugin, and then we'll have what I'd like to have is like a blocks directory. And then inside of each one of these blocks, we'll have block 1 with 2 L's. I know, that's right. Block 2, and so on and so forth, right? So then the build process will just pick up all those blocks and do everything that it needs to do. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for a little bit. I'm going to just make a quick change. Am I going to make a quick change to this? Yeah, I'm going to make a quick change. It's much easier to test this if I put this inside the template directory. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put my files inside of there. I'm going to put my index inside of there. I'm going to delete this. And then basically when we run this now, I can run it from the root right in here. And I can say npx create block latest, and I will just go like this. Now this is not going to do anything. So this is, so what I'm going to say test, and I'm going to say the template that I want to use is actually, so you can have a template be located in 2 options. First one is on npm, and the second one is like a local directory. So I can literally just do this and say template. So this is going to look, if I spell it right, this is going to look in this template directory. So this should run, and it's going to ask me if I want to download the latest, and I'm going to say yes, and then it's going to do its thing, and basically it's now giving me this, which is there's nothing in it because I haven't provided anything. So this is how we're going to be testing this moving forward. All right, sorry, I just canceled that. All right, so now that we have these, I'm going to just kind of steal some files from, where am I going to steal those files from? My template, so there's files in here. So like some of these plugin things, this is all pretty generic stuff. I'm not even really that concerned about it. So I'm gonna just open up another thing here and see if I have that. Do I have that in here somewhere? I have far too many things. Custom plugin. Let me just see. I want to go to okay, so it's yeah, cd developer blog example template. Open this up in code. No, open this. Sorry, stand by. Open this up in code. Pop this over here. Now you can see I've got all this stuff. So I like this is the repo that I linked to. But what I want to do is I'm just going to steal all these plugins, because anything that's inside of this file, I'm going to move these files over and then we'll talk about them. That's what we're going to do. Way easier to do it that way. So I'm just going to move all my files over and put them in plugin. I put the wrong ones in plugin. Pretend you didn't see that. I'll put these in plugins. So these are just like, this is an editor config, pretty straightforward. The ESLint, pretty straightforward. Getignore, pretty straightforward. Standard README that comes with every kind of like plugin, right? So I don't need to worry about that. But basically the idea here is anything that ends in a .mustache is going to be scaffolded out. The .mustache is going to be, it's going to be dropped, and then any of these mustache template variables, template variables, are going to be replaced with various with the relevant information. You'll notice that there's this thing called slug in here. Well, that's going to get the name of the plugin that I passed it. So I'm going to delete this. If I run the exact same thing again, you see I'm running create block at the latest with the slug of name and the template of my template. I'm going to run that, and I should move this up off the bottom of the screen. I don't think y'all can see that very well. Let's try that again. Okay, so that's running. So you can see we're already starting to scaffold files out, right? So we've got our editor. Now, you know, the README is pretty cool because it actually takes the name of stuff. So that's the plugin. That's the slug name. You see it's got a slug name here. It's trying to actually install some stuff. See, it's still installing the scripts package, so it'll automatically install all that goodness for us. So yeah. Oh, something failed there. That's totally fine because I don't know what's going on there because it's like doesn't actually do anything. There's no files in there yet. So okay, so we're in a good spot, but now I want to try some things. So in plugin, I want to have a directory in here and I call it blocks. And if I scaffold that out, if I run this again, clear. I can't remember if this is going to just this should just override whatever's in test. So I go into I wonder if I have to do something like this. Let's go, let's just do test.mustache. I think that might be what I need to do. It wasn't writing it, it wasn't outputting that file, but let's check. So yeah, okay, so now okay, what? Clear. Yeah, come on now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just delete this whole thing. So if I put blocks in there I'm gonna delete test.mustache. I don't think this is gonna put that in there, but we'll see. So if I run the thing again, what I'm hoping is gonna happen is when it scaffolds the plugin part, it's going to put an empty blocks directory in there, but I don't think it's happening right at the moment. So let's see. Yeah, no, it didn't happen. So let's try by adding something in here, like maybe, I don't know, index.php.mustache. We'll do something like that, which I don't think we'll figure that out. Sometimes people put index.phps in there so people try to access them directly, then it's not. It's wrong. It fails or whatever. So let's see what this does. Let's see. So okay, so that did it. It didn't put the index in there though, which is very strange. Very strange. Okay. All right. So there's nothing in there. That's okay, but that's fine. Okay, so let's clear this out. Sorry, Moonbite3 was saying something. A few days ago I started plugin for this as I need to refactor my ACF Gutenberg blocks to get pure Gutenberg blocks. Plugin, what's this thing? Let's see what this says. Cool. Yeah, nice. Nice. Okay, so let's keep building this up. So I want to have a block. Wait a minute. I think I need to do this a slightly different way. To the docs. Create block. I think there's some configuration stuff that we can do here. Create block. Nope. No, Ryan. I want my, where is it? Okay, we'll go here and then we'll go to external project templates. We'll click here for external project templates. Okay, what I want to do is I want to go my variables here. So in my index.js, there's a bunch of different things that you can plunk in here, right? So there's a bunch of variables that we can change. And that's what I think we need to do better. So folder name is the default to the root directory. The location for the block JSON file and other optional block files generated from block templates included in the folder. Okay, so I think if I do this and I put that into my index here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this. Wait, where did that go? Default values. I think we're going to put that in default. So there's a default values object. Oh, thanks for the follow, Hirozed. Thank you, appreciate you. Default values, right? That's no, it's going to be an object, and then if I do folder name and I put my folder name is going to be blocks. I wonder if let's do blocks 2 just to see what that does. And then in my block, I'm going to put, I'm just going to put that file in there and I'll get rid of this. We're going to do some testing. We're going to do some testing here. Good times. Clear this, run this, see what the scaffold does. So in here, gave me blocks 2, so that's exactly what I wanted. And then inside of that, it's putting the block JSON file. So okay. So inside a block, what if I did, what I don't understand is why is that not getting moved over? That's super weird, man. Super weird. Anyways, okay, so that's kind of what I want. So that's the folder where the blocks are gonna go. So that's where this is gonna get output. So if I find my other thing here, we can put some, so block files, block, that's right. Okay, so I'm just gonna take all of my, I'm just gonna take my basic block files in here and I'm gonna just drop them in. And I don't know where that index went. So, oh, did I replace the index? I didn't. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of that, delete. This is just really standard normal stuff. So I don't even really care what the contents of these are. What I want to be able to do is set this up so you can scaffold as many blocks as you, or sorry, as many blocks as you want in this plugin. So this is going to be for each individual block. So what I want to do here is maybe go slug. Slug? Not that, Ryan. Don't you dare. Slug. And then put all this stuff in there. Because if it, I don't know if this is gonna work, but we'll see. Clear. So let's close this down. So my logic here is that slug is replaced by the templating engine with the slug that I'm passing right here. I just pointed at my screen. It's just hilarious. Test. So I'm hoping that inside of blocks, so it'll be test and then blocks, and then inside of this, I'm hoping I will have a test block. So that's what I'm hoping, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's delete this and see what happens. Delete, and then run that. Good luck. It's awesome, but why is the block JSON not going in there? Oh, I think I know why. Okay, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. This is this. So what I think I need to do here is I'm gonna add. There's a bit more of an advanced property here called transformer, and what the transformer allows us to do is do some interesting things. It allows us to basically get access to everything. Wait, is that where transformer goes? Default? I don't think it goes there. Actually, I think it goes. No, I think it does go there. So when I run this, I should get the view. Now the view is all of the templates. So I'm just gonna console all those. Yeah, it does. You're hilarious. You're hilarious, Kari. Okay, cool. So when I run this now, we should get a whole buttload of things output. Yeah, so this is the stuff that's being output, right? So folder name, is folder name in here? That's the question. Folder name, biggity bang. So it should be, I should have slug. I do have slug. So check this out. When I run this, what I want to do is I'm going to say folder name is going to be view.folder name, and then I'm going to do this because I like to do this. All right, so my idea is that view.folder name, and then it's going to be separated by that, and then it's going to be view.slug, right? Because what I want to build out is the slug name, because what's happening is it's got the blocks in there, it's fine, but it doesn't know, but this is where it's going to, this directory that I'm defining here for folder name is going to be basically where the block.json goes. I don't want that. I want the block.json to go into wherever the slug directory is. So let's try that. Let's see if this works. Clear. And so now let's see. Why didn't it work? Oh, blocks test and then test. Oh, Amir from YouTube shared a really nice comment. Thank you, Amir. Appreciate you. Those from Twitch didn't see it, but that's fine. It's between you and me, friend. Oh, okay, why didn't that work? So what if I get rid of this? If I get rid of this, right? Is that right? This should be folder name. Folder name, slug, and then it should be plunking it in there. So what's in here? Oh, I don't think I need this now. I don't think I need that. Let's move this around. This is a lot of like trying to just sort it out, because what I want to have it do is whatever's in this block directory goes in the place where the block slug. So I hope that this is going to basically change it all and make that work. So let's get rid of this. This music is jazzy. I'm gonna change it because I need something less this. Sorry. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so let's run this. Let's take a look. Take a look, test. Boom, source. Why did it go source? That's not right. Source test. It got it right though. So maybe I need to put this blocks back in. I think I might need to put that back in, because this is the starting point, and then when that runs. Okay, cool. So let's clear this. Let's try this again. Delete. So let's see what happens. Test, blocks, test. Oh my God. Great success. Great success. Kevin, you're on a 15 stream streak. I just saw that in my chat there. That's amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you for you and everything you do, and I love you. Whew, this got real. Yeah. So yeah, anyways, okay, cool. So now that we have this in place, what I want to try to do, I'm going to, okay, so now, okay, so this is actually pretty straightforward. Now, I haven't done anything else inside of this other than what we talked about. So this is going to basically allow us put the block in a folder with the slug name. So that's what we want. But apparently we have to, we need this to define. Oh, you know why that? Okay. Do you know why that went to source instead of blocks now? Because if I take this out, view.folder name is source. So I can either, I don't need that here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in here. This should be exactly the same as what I did, and a little bit clearer code-wise. I'm going to delete this. I'm just going to double check that theory. So what was happening was, because I didn't define blocks, in here, I was referencing the folder name from the view, and the view, its default is source, so that still works. So there we go. Okay, so now let's do this. If I go like this, I want to try something. How do I want to do this? Okay, so let's try this. If I run the same thing from the same place, but this time I say no plugin, I think that this will just put a new block in there, but I'm going to call this, I'm going to give the block a different name. Test2. Test2. See what that does. So that should just scaffold a block. Oh, no. Oh. What? No. Okay. Okay. I put it weird. So no plugin mode. Just gave me a plugin. So in order to do that, it's fine. Okay, this makes sense. So what I would have to do then at this point, because I called it from the root directory, from the root directory. There's no way of targeting when you call. When you run it from when you run a create block, it just runs it in the directory where you've run it. You can't target anything. So to make this work, I need to cd into test, and then blocks, and then run it again. Oh, sorry, but I'd have to come out to directories to get the template. That'll work. Okay, so then now if I look in test, I should have blocks, test, test2, Donaroo, Dunsky, Donerific. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna come back out of here. And now what I wanna do is I'm gonna take student examples of adding root. Yeah, you can't call it from the root. Decoded, welcome. First time chat. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Yeah, this is something that you might be interested in. Dakota and I had a really great chat on Slack about some really cool things. So, so what I want to do here now is I'm going to simplify this process. So from inside of, so there's these metadata things, there's a bunch of really awesome stuff that we can do here. So the project level, we can do custom package JSON, and custom scripts is what we want. So if you want to add things to this particular package JSON, you can do it, because the package JSON for like this thing is dynamically built by the scaffolding tool. So we want to be able to access stuff. So if I want to add a new script for that, I'm going to take my custom scripts right here, and I'm going to plunk it over here. And I think I'm just going to put it maybe above this. And it's an array. Is it an array? Is it not? No, it's an object. A list of custom. Oh. Let me double check something here. Where does that go? Yeah. Okay. Custom scripts just go. Go in. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So custom scripts is an object, not an array. My bad. Right. So I can say scaffold. I say new block. Let's do a new block command. Right. And then from in here. This is, let's stop doing this. I'm going to basically do what I did before. CD. CD. How am I going to do that? Because I don't know the name of the thing. Oh, I need to do it from inside the directory. That's what I need to do. So I need to move into my test directory, my test plugin, right? Because then there'll be a package JSON in there. So what I would need to do at that point is cd into blocks, and then I would basically need to run something along these lines, right? So I can do this. So from when I'm in blocks, I have to come out. This path is going to be relative. So there's a bit of brittleness with what I'm doing here, and in the sense of like this template path may not be right. So you might have to adjust this to what you want to do. Or if you have this hosted on NPM, which I might push this up to NPM, then you could just use it anywhere, right? So the idea is that when I am in this block, so I'm gonna come out here, right? I'm gonna delete this. What? Oh, did I save that? No, get out of here. Be gone with you. I will delete this, and then I'm just gonna clear this out. I'm gonna open this up a little bit, and we're gonna run that. Nope, not gonna run that. I'm gonna take the no template off, no plugin off. That's still not gonna work. Sorry. Let's try that again. Bam. So this should give, this is okay. So this is giving me a plugin called test2, and now inside of this, it's giving me a package JSON. So now you see we have this new block. So if I now run from inside of this plugin, all this stuff, then it should give me a thing. I'm just gonna wait for this to run. But you know what? I'm gonna wait for it. So I'm gonna cd into test2, and I'm gonna say npm run new block, and hopefully, there we go. So in here, so we got a block in there. Oh, it overrode the old block. Let's try it again. Run new block. Oh, and what I need to do is, I'm a dope. We don't want that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna leave it blank, and then what I want to do is pass the name of the new block to it. So let's rescaffold this. We'll say delete, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna get out of here. Oh no, delete you. Open a new one because I'm lazy. I'm gonna say npx. There we go, and it's gonna be my plugin, and the dash template is gonna be the template, and this is gonna give me. It's gonna scaffold out my plugin. So in here we've got a block called my plugin, which is a little bit unfortunate. But there's not a way to differentiate between the name of your plugin and the name of your first block. It's just not a thing that we can do right now. Now maybe the transformer can figure that out for us. But then now if I open up my package JSON, you can see I've got a new block. And so I'm going to cd into my plugin. I'm going to run npm run new block. I'm going to pass the name of the new block. This is going to be my other block. And then that should get passed into the second half of this as the slug. And when we open up blocks, we should have my plugin, my other block, and everything is working as expected, I guess. Yeah, and then so now we should be able to, in my plugin, we should be npm run start. We should get 2 blocks built out automatically. There's a source directory in there. Oh, I know one more thing that we have to change. So the build doesn't work. Okay, and that's fine because we need to modify, because we've changed this source directory. We need to modify that in our build script. So that's a fine, and I just need to find the scripts. WordPress scripts. So sorry, I don't think anyone can read any of this stuff on my screen. So the scripts package is what handles our build process. So what we need to do is tell it, we need to tell it where it can find build scripts. Is it in here? No, it's in here somewhere. Oh, I know where it is. So let's go and start. So in start, there's some other stuff. So here we go. Custom, so Webpack source directory. So this is what we have to change. So what we're going to need to do is add this to our template in here, and we're going to go custom scripts. Now the cool thing about this is that what we can actually override, we can actually override the start command with basically. So what it looks like now is this. Where is it? If you start, script start. So we can take that and we can override it, but then we can just pass it this thing, and we'll tell it the source directory is not there anymore. It's actually our blocks directory, and that's right. Okay, and then we're gonna need this. We want to override this, the same thing for build, and because we need to do that for both. So now it's a bit annoying, but if I change this now in my package JSON. Right, I clear this. I should start it again. We should get building our blocks. So it looks like it's building. In our build, we've got my plugin, my other block. So this has got everything that we are. What is all that? That's cool. Never seen that before. Right, you see we've got everything going. These aren't dynamic blocks. So yeah, and that's kind of it. That's kind of how I would build this. So let's delete this again and just put it through its paces. Oh, I did it again. I deleted it. Or did I delete it? I'm gonna delete my plugin. We're gonna run npx right there. So we should see now that we get this new block command in our package JSON. You see we got a new block, so it does the thing that we want. And then our start script has now got the right package, or it's pointing the right directory, and so is this directory. That's cool too. So now at this point, it's basically just what you want those internal blocks to look like, and you can do that in a number of ways. This is just kind of setting us up for getting multiple blocks in a single place. But now we can look at, like, do we want to have a dynamic block version? Do we want to have a static block version? Do we want to have an interactive block version? I think those are all great ideas. So we're going to introduce something called variants. I don't know why I said it like that. Which actually goes outside of default values. So our default values our object is here. So our variants object tells us the different types of blocks or variations of blocks that we can build. So like and these can be whatever you want them to be. So in my example from that article that I linked earlier, I have a dynamic one, which is kind of what I consider my default, right? But and then there's also like an interactive block. So what these variants do is anything that's defined inside of custom scripts, of default values, is taken by the tool, the scaffolding tool. And then dependent on your variant, it might add more items, right? For example, in our interactive variant, we have some custom scripts. We have different custom scripts, because when you're using the interactivity API, which is what this is supposed to represent, you use a special flag in your build process, right? So what we would need to do is we would need to also move this in here, so it knows where to even find the blocks, right? And do all of that. Now I don't know what this is going to look like with multiple blocks. Actually, I've never really messed with that because it won't build. I don't think it'll build stuff that's the interactive API is fantastic. I absolutely love it, but I don't know how it works with a single build process with blocks that use it and blocks that don't, because of the way that modules are bundled. So anyways, this might be a bit of an outlier. But if you wanted to have, so a dynamic block, you could have, I don't know, whatever you want. You can have a static block, right? And then you could have, you could do something like, let's say you had, you wanted to do a tailwind, wind CSS block, which would basically just allow you to set these things up. And now what you have to do as the author of this particular template is, in your template, you have to start looking, you can look for these conditionals. Let me find one. This is probably a good one here. Yeah, okay. So every variant will generate a conditional. Basically, this is a true or false value inside of the rendering template. So if you've passed, if you've run it basically something like this, dash variant, I don't know if people can see that on my screen here, dash variant, and we'll call it whatever, static, right? So then this will create a variable that is variant name variant, basically. So this, in this particular case, the variant that I'm passing is static, so is interactive variant would end up being false, whereas is static variant would be true. And what's important about this is that anything inside of these conditionals, this is like if else, or sorry, like basically if and end if this is true, then it outputs these the contents here. So you can see stuff like what's a good one, render maybe, yeah. So this is a little hard to read, but you can see stuff like if this is interactive, then it's going to output all of this stuff, because this is a very different way of handling things. But if it's not interactive, it won't output anything. But if it's a dynamic variant, which is the default variant in this case, it'll spit that out. And anything that's not wrapped in it is going to be output regardless, because there's a little trick to the create block tool in that when it tries to scaffold the files, like when it goes through all the files in the template for the block and for the plugin, if they're empty, if the file will have no content, it doesn't actually emit that file to the file system. So that's how you can conditionally show files. So like, for example, this Vue.js, if we're not using the interactivity API in this case, then we don't need this Vue.js. So if this is not the active variant, then this will just be out. This file would end up being empty, and so the scaffolding tool says, "Oh, it's an empty file. I'm just gonna skip the next one." That's it. That's it. Now you're all experts. What'd I do? So, any questions about any of this stuff? I think I might just kind of take. I don't know if I need any of these variants to be honest. Oh, the other thing about variants that you should know is that the first one is always the dynamic. Sorry. It is not always the dynamic. The first one is the default. So if you were to run this without a variant, it would assume that you wanted the dynamic variant. So this first one is almost always going to be empty, because the default values are what you're going to want to build out this one, right? This is all default values, right? It's when you start getting into alternate ones that you're going to want this. Like, for example, like, yeah. So like there might be different things that you want, and it doesn't have to be the type of block. It can be, functionality in the block. So you could have, you could have like, only, there can be only one, right? And then so then inside of here, you could add a supports option and set multiple to false. So that means that this block, when you scaffold this block, it will use all of these defaults, build out everything that it needs to, and then it's going to add this to the block supports to ensure that you can only insert this block one time. It's a pretty minor use case for an entire variant, but you get the point. Yeah, that's kind of it for this. I don't know. Is there anything? I don't know. I mean, any questions about this, Dakota? I know that you and your team are deep into building this kind of stuff. So if there's anything that I can talk to you about, I don't know. I'm doing finger guns, but I am. I'm happy to do that. Not the finger guns. Talk to you. That's goes without saying. So, anyways. I feel like I'm streaming alone. Where's all the chatting? Where's the chatters? Let's look. Pew pew. Oh, there you go. That's right. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, if no one has any real questions on that, I might actually push this. You know what? Maybe I'll just look at how I can make this a template. I'm going to build this. I'm going to publish this. That's what I'm going to do. So if you go to npm, you can npm. I'm going to sign in and do this off screen because I don't want you jokers stealing all my credentials. I don't typing that right. Nope. I have a very long and hard to type password, so you can just imagine how long it takes me to log into something, right? There we go. Okay, so getting logged in now. Yes, sign in. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I gotta get into one of these things. Lurk them while you work. Can variants be used to include, exclude specific files in template? Yes, it can, and it can be used to do it by if you need the file, like a save.js, for example. Dakota, that's an excellent question. So if you're building a static block, you're going to have a save.js file. But if you don't need that file, wrap it inside of the variant, and then ensure that if that variant is not passed, that file will be empty and it won't be rendered out. If you need to like include, as in use like PHP include, you can use the same thing. You can wrap a single line of code, as many lines of code as you want, in one of those things, and that will help. So I can show you that. Actually, if we look at the GitHub repo, we can look at zoom in here. So in packages, not patches. What am I doing? Packages. They're in the create block package. So create block package has its own. I'm just going to take it there. It's got its own templates, right? So in our block template, if you look at save.js, you can see that this whole thing is wrapped in this is static variant. So if the variant is not, if the variant that was passed wasn't -- variant static, then this file renders as empty, and then it actually doesn't get emitted. So it won't be added to inside the block folder. So this is very powerful. You can do some pretty cool things with it. I did let me show you one of my things. Is it the Block Developer Cookbook? I think we've all heard me ramble on about this thing. So in my templates, I have this BDC template. So in my variants for this template, you can see I've got this like plugin version, right? So like it's defining a custom namespace, right? No, you won't end up with an empty file. It checks if it's empty before the last step of actually emitting it to the file system. So yeah, block PHP and render.php. I create my blocks using block PHP, but I can see you have rendered to PHP. Moonbite, that's an awesome question. It doesn't matter as long as in your block JSON you refer to the file that you want. So if we look at this is okay. So in my block JSON, I've got a render property. So this render property needs to be point to. You don't have a block JSON. Oh, you're not using block JSON. What is in your block PHP? If you're not using block JSON, it doesn't really matter. If you're using block PHP, are you using render callback? I have to see your code, but basically this file name doesn't matter. If you're doing this case, it doesn't matter, right? Okay, so inside your render callback, everything that's in there is actually what would be in the contents of this render.php file. So you don't need it. I would recommend moving toward block JSON because it does help you do a lot of things. But but inside so we used to have render callback. You would init your block. You'd say register block type. You give your name, and then there'd be an array, and then the render callback. And inside of the contents of that render callback, you would put what you wanted to have rendered. And that's basically what's happening, but now it's happening behind the scenes. So your render.php is the contents of what your render callback would have been. So it's all, it's just like taking an extra step out. El Pues Original. Yeah, sorry. If that's not clear, just ping me and I can show you some more concrete examples. But anyways, I was showing this plugin. So this plugin template, what it does is so the plugin variant in my context is like, I'm not building a block. I'm doing something like registering a block variation or a slot fill. So what I have is this like slug .js, which is going to be like, basically it's just an empty JavaScript file, but this is where all the magic is going to happen. So again, Dexter, no, not Dexter, Dakota. I'm so sorry. I've been watching Dexter, and that's in my head. But so now this file won't get omitted if the plugin variant is not the actual variant. So you can do a lot of really complicated things. There's some stuff that I'd like to take to the package that allows you to have a variant define where its files are. That would be very cool, because then you could say this variant uses these block files, this variant uses these block files, and then because you can get pretty nested. Do I have an example? Yeah. So for example, so this is a straightforward index.js when you register a block. So the whole thing is wrapped in this conditional saying if it's not plugin variant, then do this stuff. So that's what this little caret symbol does. And then inside of it, I'm like, oh, is it a static variable? Okay, it is. So now I need to also do this. And then there's, and the same thing down here. So it can get very nested, especially when you're building very complicated blocks. So I would say split out as many things as you can, import them. Anyways, but yeah. Yeah. Kevin wants mono repos. We all know that about him. He's a mono repo. I forget my train of thought now. What was I going on about? What's that? On the reference guide for create block, I don't see a list of variables that can be used in the machine. Yes. So it's a different. Yeah. What is that? Yeah, external project templates. You're going to want to look for default values. Oh, yes, that's an excellent question. That's an excellent point. That's on my list to add the names. You can suss them out a lot by looking in this templates. This is a really ugly way of doing it, and I do apologize. The problem is there's so many variables that are output, and they're constantly in flux. But if you were to look, say, in the plugin version of this and look at README, you can see that there's there's a lot in there. There is a lot in the slug, because we'll get this stuff. And then also you can poke around and look through some of the block stuff as well. So like title and text domain and stuff like that. Now, if you want to see them in action and you feel like doing this, did I lose my there? This is, oh, okay. Sorry. Open recent. This is going to be that one. Okay. You can actually, in your transformer, you can actually, should be able to console log view, and you should get the stuff clear. I'll just run this, and you should be able to see what all these things are, and just sort of, yeah, namespace, slug, title, description. So a lot of these will translate directly. Some of them will not, but some of them will. So it's kind of unfortunate. I thought I started some documentation around that, but that's definitely something that I need to add, because I'm the one maintaining this documentation, because I'm the one that writes a lot of this stuff. Yeah. Anyways, so but there's a lot that are kind of plunked out. But these default values will help you. You can look in there. A lot of these are going to be what we're talking about. Anyways, I'm rambling, but if you're running into issues, just reach out. Just ping me directly, and I'm happy to point you in the right direction, or find out, all that stuff. Is you can actually get a pretty good reference to it in I think it's Scaffold. So a lot of these things are going to be in here. Actually, this and everything before this line is probably going to be your best friend for that, because this is going to give you, there's a namespace, there's a Pascal case and snake case for both the namespace and the slug for various uses in various places. Otherwise, it's the majority of the stuff that's sitting in here. So it's not very well documented, unfortunately, and I accept full responsibility for Anyways, I know what I was going to do. I was going to, I'm going to just get rid of these variants because I don't think I want to add any variants right now. But I am going to publish this to NPM. And I totally forget how to do that. Totally forget how to do that. So I have a bunch of here that they're very old. I have some from my Block Developer Cookbook that you're welcome to use. But these are some older ones that I have. No, what am I doing? What? Back here. Like this Hello Block template. Do I have a GitHub repo for this? I think I just need. Yeah, I do. I think I need to just add a package JSON to it, right? Yeah, that's all I need. So I'm just gonna add a package JSON to the root of my template. It's just like standard how you. This is gonna be. What are we gonna call this? Multi block. Oh God, I think I might have one called this already. Multi-block template. Let's look. Do I have one in here? Nope. Hold on. Multiple blocks template. So I created that one 2 years ago. So I could just update this one, I guess. But I'm gonna say, I'm gonna call it Redux. So I don't. Do I need to have GitHub? Do I need all this stuff? Just gonna get rid of that for now. And try not to break my. Oh my God, what have I done? So bugs, homepage, that can all go. Okay, that's gone. And I think I just do what? npm publish, right? Oh, I need a version. I need a version number. So I'm gonna say version 1.1. There we go. So I go clear. I go, nope, get out of here, clear. I go cd template. I should be able to go what? npm publish. Get out of here. I need to add a one-time thingy-mabob in my thing here. And it's pretty straightforward to do it that way. 250. All right. Okay, so I should have, oh my God, it's called multi-block temp. Is that what I call it? Yeah, great, wonderful. Where am I? So I'm gonna have to change that, but basically I should have it in here somewhere. So multi-block temp. So now it's in there. And so now what we can actually do is we can call this from anywhere in the planet now. In fact, any of you can call this. I can say npx that, and then instead of saying template, I'm going to say template. I'm going to pass this, and this should run, and it will give me my template. So now it's exactly the same thing. See? So you could run this. Anyone can run this. Where'd that go? You could run this from your own terminal at home, interactive, completely interactive. Let me see, and you'll scaffold this out. I'm going to change the name and fix it up, but this is basically a starting point, and then now you should be able to CD in there and do all that fun stuff. What's all this? Is it useful? Yes, it's useful. Whole point of this, Kev, Moonbite, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. The whole point of this, Kev, was to be able to scaffold multiple blocks inside of a plugin. That's the point of this. And now when you scaffold this out, you now have the ability to CD into my plugin. Oh, you know what I need to do is I need to change something. I need to change something because I need to make a change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually change this, and I'm going to come into my template, and I'm going to change in here. Instead of this, I'm going to pass the name of my template in there. And so now you can use this from anywhere. So let me just CD template. To save everything, I say npm publish. I'm going to publish again. It's probably going to give me a new directory. So come on. In there. Okay, looks like it's coming. Did that go? Okay, yeah, it did. There we go. So now it's up here. So now if I use this and I do this just anywhere, I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna open up a new one of these, I'm gonna zoom it in. Right, and I guess I'm gonna go CD, whatever. I'm just gonna close this down. Yeah, get out of here. I'm gonna get rid of my plugin. We're gonna delete this, right, in my template directory. I'm gonna run this, but I'm gonna run that. So what I'm actually running here is like this. So it's gonna run. So that's gonna do its thing. Oh, I'm inside the template directory. Oops. Okay, well I ran it from the wrong directory, but it's all in here. If we look in here now, we can see it's gonna actually access my template from NPM, and it doesn't matter where the template is now. So I'm gonna cancel this. I'm gonna CD into my plugin, and we're just gonna test this out. So my plugin, I'm gonna say npm run new block, and we need to pass the slug of the block. So I'm gonna say Kevin, and we're gonna run that, and it should be putting a new Kevin block. Where'd that go? Yeah. So put Kevin in my blocks, and there we go. And so now you can add as many blocks as you want. Bang, 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 bang. And the cool thing is too, oh, you know what would be really neat is if you could also have it. Oh, this would be cool. So what if we did that, but we also had another one that, anyways, I'm geeking out here, but what if we had another one like this that that just did this? So then now you can say like no template. These names are horrible. Like no template, no TP, which is what it's like when my kids finish in the bathroom. Anyways, and then so you could pass whatever you want in there, right? So you could pass all the slug and everything, and a template. So you want to use a secondary template, you could do that. I'm not going to do that, but so that's how you could do it. Yeah, so that's up there. So go ahead and have a look at it. It's right. Oh, come on. There's like no README or anything. I'm trying to click on this and it's not loading or something. I don't know. There it is. There's no README or anything on it. I need to get that done. But you're gonna want to run, if you remember correctly. Where'd it go? You're gonna want to run this and run it anywhere. Test it out for me. Tell me if it works. I'll push this code up somewhere and link to it. And but you're welcome to use it. You're welcome to tear this apart and do whatever you need to do with it. So yeah, okay. Sorry, Moonbite had a question. What was the question? I know this is not the theme of the stream, but I could use your advice. Robot smiley face. I was using form token field component in order to search for WooCommerce product categories under with API function. I did everything, but I'm unable to reorder chosen terms. Is there a better way to make this thing working? You want to reorder them in the form token field? You'll have to, if you want to reorder them in the form token field, what you'll have to do is, I mean, this is a guess, but I use this ordered by name. Is your form token field, like it allows you, because the products they come in by name, right? Don't save. You probably, there's a couple of things that you can do. I think I've never done it, but let's take a look. So for example, in my meta controls, I've got the token field. So the value in here is probably where you're going to want to sort that. The problem that you're going to run into though is that it's just an array. It's an array of items, right? Like a simple array. It's not an array of objects, it's an array of strings. So you can sort that. Like what you could do is when it changes, you could do a quick sort, right? So like this is a form token field for my plugin. Now this only has one, but what you could do is you could do something like new list dot sort blah blah blah, right? You could sort it and then save that, but const sorted equals new list that's sorted, and then save that to your attribute, but sort however you want to sort it, right? You could try that. So when someone is going through and they pick their things and then hit save, then it sorts and then it saves it as sorted. But you want to do it before, because if you did it here, it might be weird. Because, yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to probably do it, sort it when it changes, and then save it. I don't know what the UI would look like. I don't know what the user experience would be for that. If you had a lot of things and all of a sudden, like the thing you grabbed at the bottom jumps to the top and all that, you'll have to look at that. But I think that's probably how you'd have to handle that. Again, currently they're ordered by name. So you just want to change how they're sorted, basically, right? So the value is an array, a simple array, as I'm sure you know, is a simple array of strings that gets shown in there. And then you can, when one of them changes, you're going to want to take the items that have changed and then sort them by insert sorting parameter here, and then save that as your data, as your attribute. I think that's what we're going to want to do there. Is there a component for searching pages, terms, or products, or we need to make it with using select controls and other components? I don't think there's a where is post include? So again, we're doing something like this in my, so it's a form token field again. So you can use form token field, right? And that's probably a good one. But what you're going to want to do is tie it into some kind of, like there's not a built-in, I don't think there's a built-in component that says search for this and give me this. There are things that you can say, provide information to and have those components display, like form token fields or select or whatever. But like, for example, in this one, we're searching for posts. So there's a uSelect that gets the posts. Those posts get passed to the suggestions of the form token field, right? And then when the input changes, so this is like a type ahead, so you can start typing and it'll do its thing. So we have this like set search arg and all that, and I think there's some debounce going on. I don't know, can't remember. But that's probably what you're gonna want to do. There isn't like this component does everything that you want, because components can't be that specific. That's why you always see that like they extend other components or they're wrapped in other components and things like that. So I would use form token field. You're gonna want to do an API request. Probably want to use something like uSelect or use entity prop or entity records, whatever it is, right? I don't know. What time is it? Okay, 11. It's 11:38. Oh, there will be no stream next week, friends. I am away on a little team bonding meetup event in Montreal. I'm driving. It's six hours. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, cool. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have too much more to go over right now, but we can chat. Y'all want to chat about stuff? You know what I don't have is a chatting screen. Closest thing I have is like what? This? Oh, no, let's go back. No music in them. Horrible. So, I'm gonna put some music in there, I think. Oh, that coffee's really good. Really good this morning. Oh, hey, hello to my friends from YouTube. If you want to come hang out, we're over here on the Twitch, where you can see where all the chat is. Okay, so well, since we're in advanced query loop, what am I working on right now? Release workflows. Oh yeah, I was working on this cool thing yesterday. Oh, yep, fire it up. What you got? mechanics got. Oh wait, oh man, all the stuff coming in. Is it okay if okay, first question, Moonbite. If it is okay, is it okay if an inner block component that accepts only one type of block? Yep. When I click the slide, I get to search products and pick only one per slide. I'm kind of new with custom Gutenberg blocks. So I'm trying to make sense of it all. First of all, it's okay to do whatever you need to do. So it's not a question of right or wrong. There's best practices and there's maybe other ways of approaching things, but I don't think you need to be worried about, is this okay if I do this? So yeah, if you have an inner block component that accepts one type of block, that's totally fine. I do it all the time. I have a presentation tool that I'm working on that is literally slides, like a slideshow. And there's a block, and it only allows slide blocks inside of it. So that's totally acceptable. I get to search products with a search control, and I'll pick only one per slide. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, you can do that. Trying to understand a little bit deeper what you're saying there. So like I would, maybe if you can and you're willing to and you're comfortable and you can for client work or whatever, share the code with me. Doesn't have to be here. You can DM me. I'm on WordPress, Slack, I'm on Twitter, it's whatever. And I can take a look. I'm happy to make some recommendations if I think there is something. I have a really hard time when people are like, is this right or is this wrong? It's like, no, there's no such thing. Like, okay, yeah, if you're doing a -1, if you're doing a WP query with -1 and you've got 1 million posts and you're adding all this crazy meta, that's probably wrong. But there's other ways that you can accomplish this stuff. So don't worry about right and wrong, especially when you're learning, because I've been a developer for a long time. I'm not as good as Kevin, but I've learned really quickly that like a lot of it is just getting it to work. You get it to work, and then when you get to a certain point in your career, you've done it enough that you know it works. Now you can be like, oh, you know what? Maybe we can tweak it and make it a little better. So don't worry about right and wrong. Just worry about getting it done and learning. Anyways, M Mechanics got a WP scripts question, but I think I should add it to the GitHub. You asked me the question, my friend. We'll see what we can do about it. And yeah, if you think it's an issue, like it's a bug or something, then absolutely drop it in the GitHub-aroo. Yeah. So we'll just wait. We'll wait. I'll stare at you. This music is like, hey girl. Woo. You're an amazing developer, Kevin, and I love you. Don't be sarcastic on my stream. This music's great. Okay, M Mechanic, we're waiting on you, man. What you got? While we wait for the question, here we go. What's your scripts question, dude? Throw it in there. So, where'd my workflows go? Where'd my work? Oh, I haven't done them yet. So I'm working on this cool workflow thing. That what I want to do is have releases. I found this cool action, and it's something that I'm just messing around with right now. And what it does is, let's see, where's this one in my interactivity NBC to do. So I have these releases that I'm working on, right? And what I want to have it do is I have a lot of stuff going on, but this is all testing. But what I want to have is to have it draft release notes for me, which is really cool. And then I can do a release and it sends it out. So that's really cool. But the other thing is I also wanted to have it append this zip of the particular thing, because my end game is to have an action. I don't know if I'll build the action because I haven't really written a lot of actions before, but sorry, I'm talking about specifically like GitHub actions. But what I'd love to do is when I have a release that it creates a zip of a built version of the plugin or whatever it is and then also creates a WordPress playground link to try it out, which would be really cool. Because then you could go through all of your releases and say, okay, I want to see what this plugin was like or this thing was like, when I did, version 0.1. So I click the link and I can go see that in Playground, which is awesome. So that's what I was working on a bit yesterday. I want to add it to Advanced Query Loop because the release notes are fun and annoying. Interactivity is the word of the year. Yep, it is. I have a custom Webpack config in order to build blocks in the theme. Okay. In some blocks, I have to add the editor CSS to build correctly in the build. The extra CSS isn't getting called from index.js. Well, so you should be importing editor.scss. The extra CSS probably has to get, that is, I have to import. Yeah, you should have to import that. Usually that's how that works. Let's see, do I have an example of this? Maybe, actually the thing that we just built, or one of the things here. So I look at my index, for example, right? You'll see that it's actually, it's importing styles. And then the edit is also importing editor.scss. So what you're going to probably want to do is import that in the edit file, but then in that file, if you have extra CSS, import it in there. I think I'd have to look at your setup, but I think that's expected behavior. But that is I have to look at what you're doing, I think, mechanically, because once we get into the sort of custom Webpack thing, there's can be a lot of like sort of side effects that happen to changing it. In order to build blocks in the theme, yeah, I have some blocks. So you don't need to have a custom. If yeah, do that. Again, it's not right or wrong, but it might just be unexpected side effects. So the thing is, you don't technically need to have a custom. I don't think you need a custom Webpack. So do I have a custom Webpack? I have a custom Webpack that handles some things, but okay. So I have this theme that I built for my block developer cookbook stuff, and I have a bunch of blocks in there. And you don't need to have a custom Webpack for it to work with blocks. Scripts package will figure out that there's blocks in there as long as you tell it where to find the blocks. So for example, I've got my source directory blocks here. Now, you may be doing way more things with your Webpack, so I don't know. But in my particular case in here, I have a couple of things going on. I have some blocks that use the interactivity API. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm kind of having to mess with to do this. But yeah, so anyways. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, cool. Well, Justin really knows this stuff. So, yeah, this is a block theme as well. But yeah, absolutely DM it to me. And, if you're having an issue, actually, you can even leave a comment on Justin's post as well, because he's really good about getting back to that stuff. Throw new error. I see you. Let me just see what your question was. I asked before, but yeah. Couldn't figure out the best way to implement it. Query loop break. Something like post block post. So you want to have a query loop. You want to have a query loop that, like a query loop block that renders out a post to post and then something in the middle and then another post and another post, so, like something like that, right? That's an interesting. You could try a block hook, but that's more around templates. That may not work. You could try the render, like the block render. Render block hook is what I'm trying to say. Like in here, like this is a bit different, but you could use the render block hook, which is render block and then the name of your block, and then what you'll get is you'll get the content of that particular block, and then you could do some things in there where you're like, because you'll have all the posts. That might be something that you can do. I've never done this. It's an interesting idea though, for sure. I would probably start by trying to affect the output of the block. Now with the query block, you're gonna have to be careful, because if you're not forcing a reload, you're also dealing with, it's using the interactivity API. So injecting things might be a little bit hard, but if you're not using, like if when you insert a query loop block, there's a like a force reload toggle that's always on. Yeah, but you might be able to just take the block content and then do some searching inside of it to find stuff. And the HTML tag processor is chef's kiss for that kind of stuff. I used it recently on a gallery. Well, I did a thing on it here. And you might be able to like inject content in places, but yeah, you could try that. That would be my thing. The problem that you're going to run into is that it's going to be very hard to know how many, like where you are in the loop, right? Like injecting things in the loop has always been hard, regardless if it's blocks or not. Because what if you're on page 1 and you've got 10 posts, but on page 2 you've got 3 posts? Where does it go? Or you've only got 1 post. Do you insert? Do you not insert? There's a lot of logic that goes in there. So that's how I would start. You could actually, another way of doing it maybe is you could have insert your custom block into the template and have it. So here's an idea. I don't know how this would work. Do I have anything running? Let's see. Do I have anything running? Bear with me 1 second. I have an idea. What is going on here? Hello. Okay. Oh, local byte. No, come on. What is happening here? I haven't used this in a while. No, this needs to stop. Oh Lord, what's going on? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, folks. I don't know what's happening here. Twitch streams local. Okay. Would it show after every post to be able to skip a couple posts? Well, what I was kind of getting at here was you could maybe do something. So like if you had, so let's add a new post here, and you put a query loop in. Let's say we're gonna do this, right? So then in your template, what you could do is you could insert something like after this, like let's put like a, I don't know, whatever. Let's find something to put in there. Pull quote, sure. Test. Yeah, that looks great, right? What you could do is you could have, so this would maybe here, yeah. So what you'd want to do is you'd probably want to put it inside your post template, and then this block, now this is a horrible example, but this block could be a custom block, and it would know whether or not to render itself. So you'd have to do some logic inside of this to understand, like you'd have to know where it is in the query loop. Like you might be able to do it that. So this block, and then this would be a dynamic block that on the front end will either just return null, return nothing, and not output anything, or return its markup based on the number in the count, right? And you can get access. You could like, so in your render you could get like I think global. I think there's like a WP query in there somewhere. Like I think you can actually get access to WP query, right? The current. Oh God, you can get access to the current query being run, and then you could probably act off of that. So like if you look up like the WP query class, query. Oh God, you might be able to get some information on like where it is and stuff. Properties and methods, like post count, found post, current post, right? You could get available during the loop. You might be able just to dig into it a little bit, right? Yeah, that might be how you'd have to do it. That's probably how I would try, because the less you have to do with like injecting things into the content, the better. And if this block just is aware of the query loop, or sorry, the query that's being run, because you can get access to a lot of stuff. Like you can say is main query, right? You can do all of that. And what's in the conditional tags? Like there's a lot that you can figure out here. Oh no, that's not what I want. Yeah, you'd have to get really into the meat and potatoes of how this works, and like what sort of so there's like get post, get queried object, you create object ID, so you could get a list of all the posts and then find out, okay, how many posts are in front of this. You could do a modulus and be like, okay, so post ID X is number 4, so I mean, if I modulus that against 2 or 4 or whatever it is, it'll be 0, and then I'll render myself. You could kind of do some stuff like that. There's gonna be edge cases. It's gonna be weird, but it's an interesting concept. Faux show. Yeah. That's probably what I would do. But would it be a page template? It would be a page template. I would you to get the query. Yeah, no, it would be a block. So you would insert your custom block, like I was saying, and then in the render.php of this block, you could like get an object. You could get this WP query object or whatever. Like, Advanced Query Loop is doing some stuff where I'm hacking the matrix a little bit. I should say I'm hacking the matrix. It's not the matrix. It is fairly straightforward. This is not what I want. What am I doing? Advanced Query Loop. I already have that open. All right. So like in my includes, in my query loop, you can see what I'm doing here is I'm globalizing WP query. So this is the current query object. So then I have access to that. So I can get the query vars. It's a class, and you can quite literally, let's see what's in there. So I think if I do this and I come back to the post, I'm gonna get rid of this. So this is the same idea. I'm just gonna use advanced query loop because I have it all set up. There we go. So no negatory. Come on now. Where are we here? So how do I get in there? Okay, I'm gonna stop this. Sorry. Right, I'm gonna say save draft. Now come back over here. I'm just running debug here, so where did this go? That one. That's what I want. I don't want this one. Don't want that one. That can go away. All right. Stop. It goes in like vicious cycles. So if I publish this and go here. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I don't have this thing set up correctly to do it. That's what I want. So I want to update that. And there we go. So now we can see WP query. It's got all of this stuff. So you can see where you are, the current post that you're in, right? The current comment. Like you'll be able to figure out where you are based on all of these values. And what you'd probably want to do is get I just might be calling it in a weird spot, but basically you're gonna have post count and all of that. Let's see. Still nothing there, but you'll have access to all of this stuff, and you'll be able to hopefully sort out where it is in the post being rendered, right? Because it's going to loop through each one of those, and it's going to, like, this is post 1, post 2, post 3, and then it goes, oh, okay, now I want to insert after that. So that would be my recommendation. Does that help? Hope it helps. Hope it helps. Hope it helps. What's going on here? Cool. Anyways, I gotta run out and pick up a child. Oh, thanks. I'll dig into the weeds. Yeah, nice. So, yeah, it's gonna be in the weeds. But if you figure it out, I would love to see it. I think it's a very cool idea. That's a lot of people have been trying to do that sort of stuff. Like, I want to insert, like, how many publishers have been like, I want to insert an ad every 4 posts, like on my homepage. Like that's something when I was at 10 Up. That's something that like we did all the time, trying to figure out how to insert that. That was all pre-Gutenberg stuff, but cool. Anyways, folks, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I won't be streaming next week because I will be away. Week after that, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a hot tub stream for Kev. We'll see. I don't know. But anyways, I will talk to you all later. Thanks as always for hanging out with me and being my friends and caring about me. And I will miss you all. Whoa there. Well, Kevin, you keep asking for it. All right. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.